Good evening, everybody. It's Driven AF Recovery. We are coming to you tonight from Body Vandal #1 Gym and Training. It's actually for the guys here at one of the rehabs that I set up initially with my buddy Doc. Source of great pride and started a whole lot of things for me a few years ago, so very grateful for that. We are here tonight, Stephen and I, to talk about identity. Came up, it's something we believe is pretty important in recovery. And in better in your life, really, as with all this shit we talk about. I think transfers to both, pretty much, typically.
For sure.
I'm going to let Steven run off with this one to start with, so have at it, my friend.
Yeah. First off, sorry about the abrupt ending from last week, right? That was last week, right?
That was last week.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties. We're still learning how to do this fucking shit. But anyway, I was reading actually Ed Milet's book, The Power of One More, and in like the first 10 or 20 pages, he was talking about identity. And it got me thinking about my own identity and how I've worked and I've changed it very much over the last year and plus, and why that's really important to me in recovery. And it's really important because my identity was always tied to my addiction, and it was always tied to the horrible shit I did during my addiction. The stealing, the manipulating, the lying, the cheating, whatever, the committing crimes, all that shit. So naturally, I didn't feel very good about myself. I didn't feel like I was worth shit. My identity was I was a loser, fucking junkie, crackhead, drug addict, and that you could not leave your keys or your wallet around me or anything of value because I would probably steal it and sell it for drugs. And anybody who thought that was right to think it, and me and Maddie were just talking before this video, and it's, to me these days, it's not so much important what other people think about me. It's what I think about myself, and that's what your identity is. Your identity is like how you think and feel about yourself. So when I came into treatment, I had no reason to think anything of myself or feel good about myself because of my actions. So that's why this topic is really, really fucking important to me, because I do feel good about myself today, but that's because of the things I do, my actions, People trust me nowadays. My company likes me and likes the employee that I am. My family wants me around.
These are all good things.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just my identity is completely different, and I think especially in early recovery, it's important to work on changing your identity. And maybe you don't think about it like that, but if you don't feel like you're worth shit, you know what I mean? Why would you want to change and do anything better, or what, you know what I mean? Why would you continue on in recovery if you still feel like you're not worth shit? You know what I mean? So I think if you make your identity a focal point early in recovery, just with simple shit, hey, I don't want to be known as a thief, so I'm not going to steal. I don't want to be known as a liar or manipulator, so I'm not going to lie and manipulate people. Little stuff like that helps you build self-worth, and that kind of creates an identity of hey, I am worth something. I can do this stuff. I am a good person. And you kind of can go from there. What do you think, man?
I think that's all very true, and I look at it, I guess, further in, but I was the same way, man. I mean, I felt like shit about myself when I was in treatment, and I made a small little plan about just changing little things that I could actually control coming out of here in a sober house. I mean, for me now, I've built an identity. I've raised the thermostat, so to speak, what I feel about myself. I'm a lot of things I was never before. I created identity. It's different from being a fucking piece of shit that did basically nothing but get high and sit in front of the TV or go lift weights. That was most of my fucking life. I went to work to support my fucking habit. That's right. It. That was my only reason to go. Yeah. Really. To be now, I'm a reliable iron worker. People, actually wanted to be a foreman at a GF and actually want me on their jobs, even if it's just to work. I don't have to call and beg places, but I made my identity that way by showing up early, by fucking actually putting, my effort into the fucking moment I was in and paying attention to the shit I was doing with some fucking detail to make it to where I was great at what I did with some excellence. But this was all a little bit over time. It's been a little over 3.5 years. My identity now is I'm the iron worker I always wanted to be. I'm now a fucking multiple gym owner, which I never would have imagined, but I had to do the little things first to get to the points where I actually believed I could do any of this kind of shit. And that has created a new identity that I am confidently say I fucking actually really am proud of and like myself the way I am. Not that I don't need work, because I fucking do. But
I mean, we're always going to. We're always
Right,
going to need
right.
work. But like you kind of just said, you're a little further along in recovery. I'm a little earlier. So obviously there's different amounts of growth. And you know what I mean? Like I know, for me, I never thought I'd feel the way I feel about myself or do any of the things that I've been able to do in the time I've been sober. And one of the things he says in the book that I never even fucking thought about is like one of the most important things about changing your identity is like changing the people you associate with in your association. You know what I mean? And if you think about it, like, yeah, that's probably a big reason why people don't think I'm like just some scumbag, loser, fucking drug addict, alcoholic, because I don't associate with those type of people anymore. I associate with a lot of people in recovery that are trying to do better and that are doing better.
yeah, but that's part of the point of it. You have to help people get better, and then hopefully watch them succeed.
Right. That's the idea. But then the thing you're talking about is like the thermostat, that your associations and like the things you read, the things you listen to, the people you talk to, and the people you keep around, all have to change if you're really serious about recovery. Because that's one thing that's hard for anybody trying to change their lives, you know. Whether you're, you know, just got out of jail and you're trying to get away from the criminal life or
you're just
life,
even miserable with your fucking life the way it is. Like,
yeah, changing your associations is
Yeah.
is going to be a big step towards something better and towards a happier life and a more peaceful life for sure.
I have, because I mean, when I was getting high, I did it all the time by myself in secrecy, pretty much. I didn't fucking get high with people. Like, I was a fucking isolated, self-contained fucking unit of misery, pretty much. And I mean, it is not at all the case now. I associate with all these guys in the rehabs. I associate with guys like you and other people, like, you know, Brooke and Dennis, and I could go on and on and on, but people that are actually driven and driving towards fucking, you know, helping people and making their own lives better and showing other people how to do it. That's the shit that gets me fired up to be around people now. Otherwise, I could fucking be just fine hanging out on my farm with my fucking goats.
Well, that's a good point though, because that could be a difficult thing for somebody who's used to having no association.
Oh, it's tough.
But you want to take things to the next level. You want to, you know, better yourself and better your life. You're probably going to have some associations. If you're a loner, you know what I mean, you're probably going to have to build a network and some connections for support and recovery, but also to try to better your life and better your situation. You know,
You know where it
that's a big
started
thing.
for me was watching Doc and the way he comported himself when I was at this very treatment center, and thinking, man, I could really stand to be a lot more like that guy.
Yeah.
The way he does shit and gives of himself and all the good qualities
Yeah,
he
you
had.
can learn from him.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, man, so why can't I just learn from this guy? So I got to know him, you know, and I got to know other people. And I got to know people, I don't know them all very much personally, like, that I read and watch their podcasts, but I get a sense of who the fuck they are, and then
and how they do things.
yeah, and then
Right.
apply it, you know, but I wouldn't be able to do that without taking shit in from other humans, you know?
And I think that's the beauty of like the recovery community is like, that's what it's all about, is trying to like learn from other people and help other people, you know what I mean? So like, even if it's somebody who I might not agree with on everything, but I could still learn something from them. But my associations today are more of the same. I have a lot of associations with people who don't feel the same way because they're not an addict and they're not in recovery. And that's fine, but I try to learn something from other people. But like the people, my close associations, the people who I study and learn from, there's only a few, but they're people who I look at, like you were just saying with Doc. Doc is one of them.
Yeah,
Mike Fisher is another one.
Fuck
You know
yeah.
what I mean? These are guys who I'm like, man, I could learn a lot from these dudes. You are another one. You know, there's a reason why I gravitated towards you.
I mean, in the same fashion, though, I learned shit from you that I'm not good at, too.
Right,
A little
but I
bit
mean,
of
I just-
calmness and not being full of anger and all those things that I'm not good at, you kind of are good at, a lot of them, so.
That's a good point. Well, that's kind of where I was going to that before. Is like, even if it's somebody who isn't like me at all, like I can learn from them. Somebody who's earlier in recovery than me, I could always learn from them, man. These groups we do with these guys in the treatment center, man, I learn from them all the time, and they make me think and realize new things. And I'm like, oh, that's a good point, you know, because you never know what somebody's been through, and maybe they could give you an insight on something. But either
Different
way,
perspective.
all these associations I'm talking about are all completely different, and I wouldn't have given a fuck about them back when I was getting high.
Me either.
If you could get dope or whatever, or you had a connect, that was the only reason I associated with anybody.
If you could serve my purpose. then
Yeah,
I'd
exactly.
associate with you.
But now, any of those people who are still living that life, I have no desire and no reason to associate with any of them. So
Okay.
I focus my shit on trying to associate with people like you or listening, you know, to the guys.
People that maybe you can help bring up
Yeah,
and better
for
their
sure.
life or whatever. I've got to the point where like I have to respect someone to want to associate with them.
Yeah.
And I didn't give a fuck
Absolutely.
about any of that before, or anybody respected me for that matter.
But I think all this shit that we're talking about kind of shapes your identity.
It
You know what I
does,
mean?
absolutely does.
You take your core values, and like you said in our group that we did today, the things that are not negotiable that I connect and tie to my old lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like all those old habits and old associations, old behaviors, old thoughts, I do my best to get rid of because I tie all that to my old addict self, and I want nothing to do with that version of me. So my thoughts, my actions, my associations now all are focused on how to become a better person and how to, you know, be successful in recovery, and how to keep on learning, man. So that's why my identity now it looks so much different, and I'm very conscious of that, and I work on that every day. And it's just, man, it's like a different person. It really is, and it's a great feeling to look in the mirror and like what the fuck you see. You know, maybe not everything physically. I don't think I'm the most beautiful person in the world, but I like the person that I am on the inside. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't look like I smoke crack and shoot heroin anymore like
This
I
is
did.
true.
So that's a plus. You know what I mean? That's a plus.
This is true.
I'll take that. You know, probably not going to win any beauty pageants, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's all right. That's not that important.
I'm happy with how I look today. You know, when I look in the mirror, I look healthier. You know, but I'm happy with the person on the inside, and that's a wonderful, peaceful, beautiful thing to get to that place. You know, so I encourage anybody early in recovery or anybody in life, man. If you don't like who you are, the person you are, change it. You can change your own fucking identity. It's your identity. You don't have to be a shitty person. You don't have to be mean to people. You can be nice. You can be a kind human being. You can be a caring human being. You can be an honest human being. You can be a good employee. You can be a loyal family member and friend. You know what I mean?
So many great things.
You don't have to be a shithead.
I mean, like I'm pushing really like at this point in my recovery in my life, like success in business, success in life, success, financial freedom. I'm not even gonna say success financially, just financial freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom in life, like all these things, but shit wouldn't have been possible without recovery. It's just like a process that's been on ever evolving. for
Yeah, I was
me,
gonna
and
say that's
it's just-
evolved. And it's
yeah.
gonna continue to evolve.
I'm sure it will, and God willing, and I hope
Yeah,
so.
right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I
Like-
will. I know. I know. But yeah, I mean that's. I don't know about you. If you got anything else you want to add on to me, I think we touched on everything and kind of how to shape your identity and how to work for it, man, and doing things that give you self-worth.
And it can be whatever the fuck you want it to be.
Yeah,
That's the beauty of it, you know, like what's important to you.
yeah, exactly.
Be that.
It's your core values. It's, you know, what you tie to the person you want to be, you know. Ed Milet said it. I'm sure some of your other guys have said it. I know Andy Frisell probably has. It's like you have the power to write the next chapter
Joe
of your life.
Rogan says it really
Joe
well,
Rogan says
actually,
it.
yeah.
You know, I mean,
Jordan Peterson says it. Fuck that self-authoring program.
Yeah,
It's
like-
pretty much all about that.
you have the power and the choice to be the kind of person you want. So if you don't like your identity, you know, change it.
Do something
Fucking
about
do
it.
something about it.
Action.
In recovery, I think it's really important, especially for us people in recovery, man. Because if you don't like the person you are, or you know what I mean, or you're not trying to become a better person, you're probably going to go back to the shit that you worked so hard to get out of. Eventually, you know what I mean. If you work on,
Well, if you
becoming
still
a better
hate
person,
yourself, going to fucking get high and throwing it all away
doesn't seem like a bad option.
Yeah, I mean
Right.
that. Yeah, and but that's entirely you gotta be the one that fucking makes your identity and your life fucking better and better and better, to where that option gets a little less attractive all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
ideally, that's what's gonna happen. You know?
And I think, you know, for me, I don't know about you, but that's kind of the goal for recovery, is to create a life that, you know, we've talked about this before. You create a life that getting high is not appealing, because you know you'll lose everything that you're working for, and you like the life that you have, and you like the person that you are. So
or that
you don't
meme
wanna
I see all the
compromise any of
time.
that.
Make your life something you don't want to take a fucking vacation from, but
Yeah.
that's the same difference. I mean,
Same
what else
difference.
is getting fucking high? It's taking a vacation from
Yeah.
reality and stress and
Yeah,
whatever the fuck else.
definitely taking a vacation from reality.
Yeah,
Even
so-
if it's for 5 seconds or
Right.
fucking,
And then you have a million more problems when
Yeah.
you come out of it, but
And then,
still,
yeah.
you know, pick your
how
poison,
it
like
goes.
that fucking Jordan Peterson thing was saying.
yeah.
Sometimes all you got is risky option 1 and risky option 2, and they both suck, but take the better of the two and be prepared
Yeah.
to suffer through it.
Yeah, especially in addiction, no matter how shitty the section option is, as long as you're not getting high.
It's not as bad as that one.
It's gonna be better than that one.
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? Because, like we just said in group today, man, one of the guys asked, like, you know, what do you do when it gets hard? It's like, dude, I think about things, and I think about the life that I've created, and I think about how much I don't want to fucking lose it.
Yeah.
And I know where the fuck that goes. I know where that option goes. We've done it 1,000 times and tried it every different way with every different drug out there. We know where it goes.
Yep.
So yeah, man, choose to better yourself, choose to shape your identity into a better person, and you will enjoy your recovery and your sobriety, and you won't want to go back to being high. At least that's how I feel, and that's my thoughts, and that's what I try to do, and I'm going to continue to try to do. So hopefully this helps somebody out there, man. Like you said, we kind of had to come to you from one of our old locations, but
I kind of like it.
I love it here.
Nobody cares,
Yeah.
work hard.
Remember,
It's kind of the
nobody fucking cares, work harder.
the ECS and our slogan.
Yeah.
You know, I turned Doc onto that, but he's taking it.
But it's
And
definitely
I'm glad.
ECS and
You know,
the Driven
and-
AF way.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. Your back is almost as big as that flag.
I mean, I live with that. Whatever. I had that tattooed on me 2 weeks into sobriety. At my recovery house, because I'm right here, so I had to see it all the time to not ever fucking forget that. That is what it takes.
Yeah, whatever, everything.
Whatever. Yeah. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
literal. That's another topic for another day.
No,
I
yeah,
guess.
for sure.
That's something we try to live by here. So.
Absolutely. But we look forward to bringing some different guests in here in the next couple of weeks. We will, goddammit, I know we've said it a few times, we will have Brooke joining us
Next week.
next week.
We actually locked it down.
Good friend, one of our brothers, but we did lock down a time that works for everybody.
Dennis, who's been on here before,
Yeah.
is going to be joining us a little
Dennis,
more
too.
regularly.
We also are in the process of working out how to have some female co-hosts do this with us, because we'd love to get the female perspective and some females in recovery to kind of share the, you know, what it's like for women, or you know, things that they've how they've been successful or what's helped them, you know. So
Yeah.
we have a couple women that we've talked to.
One's definitely in for very soon.
Oh, we actually have two that are
Oh,
definitely for very
cool.
soon. But yeah,
We'll be broadening our spectrum, you know,
Definitely.
because everybody is welcome here, and I know sometimes I think that gets lost with Brothers
Yeah.
in Arms, but that's a whole separate entity.
yeah, that is.
So-
Driven AF is definitely open to men, women, whatever. It
Whoever.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that these facilities that we work out of are men's facilities, so there's strict rules on what goes on here. So we are allowed to do these videos, so we will probably come to you from a different location when we have female
A
guests.
secret location.
Secret. My apartment is very secret. But I think that's all for this
Yeah. Everybody have a great week. You know, pay it forward.
week. Yeah.
Comment, subscribe, like if you got something out of
Yeah.
this. Share it if you
Please
think it'll
share
help
it.
somebody.
Let us know. Give us.
That's what it's all about. Or tell us what you think, man. Whether you like it, hate it, love it. Doesn't matter. You know, it'll help us get better for helping you guys get better, and that's what this shit is about. So
Definitely.
criticism is also welcome, but throw something up there. I'd be happy to read it.
Definitely.
And you know, I'll give the Instagram for this channel is at DrivenAF Recovery _22, and you can find everybody else involved with it off of that. And
Yeah.
Brothers in Arms is all linked to it. So.
Definitely. And as always, if you need help, reach out, man. We're definitely willing to help anybody in any way that we can. We do have resources to get into treatment and sober
Detox,
houses and
whatever.
detoxes and all that. So any help that you guys need when it comes to recovery, man, don't be afraid to reach out. If you know somebody, if it's you, it doesn't matter, man.
Yeah, we're here for it. And, you know, you can message the Instagram, or you know, our shit's on there.
Yeah, our
So-
contact information is on one of our other videos too.
Yeah.
So if you're a subscriber,
entitled our contact information, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah.
So.
So if you're a subscriber, or if you would like to go ahead and subscribe, you can find the contact information there if you need to reach us. And I would be willing to give out my phone number too if you need it. So message me if you need someone to talk to.
Maybe I'll post our business cards,
Yeah,
you and Brooke, and then if
Yeah.
anybody needs the phone number, it'll be on there.
yeah, for sure.
All right, everybody, have a great week. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and we will see you again in
Yeah.
a week.
See you next week.
Motherfucker.
I'm gonna have to get a new remote. clicker.
Yeah, buying some new equipment, everybody. Bear with me.